Hey everybody, how's it going? This is Max with BuzzTox here, and I am back with a Westworld Season 3, Episode 5 preview video, where I look through all the trailers and preview trailers for every single episode to theorize and predict what will happen next. And firstly, I want to start with William, because last time we saw him, he got put in a mental institute from Delores. At this point, we don't know if he's being held captive by Delores or by the private mental health hospital. But we know that he is in communication with Delores, whether he's imagining it or she's actually showing up. But we know Delores plays a big role with William because their paths will always intertwine. Just like Caleb, Delores was the only real thing that ever happened to William, and he spiraled into the man he is today because after Delores, nothing was truly real or had any meaning. And after him losing his daughter, we see him losing his sense of what is real. What is his own reality? If his own choices are really his own. And I think that's a part of the journey that Ford sent him on. He needs to find the door. It ends where you begin and it begins where you end. And what he means by that is the beginning of the story is where William ends. And he ends in his loop or in his death. But where it ends is where William began. And William began when he walked into the park of Westworld and he met Delores. So he is on the path of becoming a host. And he's losing his sense of humanity in order to become a host. We see people putting a guard in William's mouth. We saw this in a previous episode and it was used against Caleb. They can read William's vital signs, his brain activity, things of that nature to really tell if he was hallucinating. This might give us an answer as to whether William was hallucinating Emily from the last episode. Or it could just be a host that was planted there by Delores. We then see William covered in blood saying that he's going to save the world. I don't know if he's going to break out like he did out of a prison in Westworld, or if he gets help to escape. But at this point, William is in the real game now. He's in a game that has real stakes, and he gets to find his true self along the way, just like what he did with Delores. But I think along that path, it'll intersect with Delores, and those characters will end up evolving together. But moving on to a character that is much like William is Caleb. Caleb came to Delores in her time of need, just like William. And now he's stuck on this journey helping Delores achieve what she wants to achieve. As far as he knows, she wants to turn off Rehoboam, shut off the system that is controlling humanity. But he doesn't know that she wants to end humanity. But at this point, he doesn't care, because his life had no meaning and no purpose, and he didn't find it until he met Delores. And we hear Bernard in this trailer ask if Caleb has ever questioned what she is asking him to do. And I think the answer will be no. Just like William, they're love-struck by Delores. And while Caleb is on this journey with Delores helping her, he's going to find himself, much like William did. I will continue to see Caleb's journey of self-discovery. We know that they captured Liam and they have him hostage, but last episode William was given a drug by his friend. It basically uses the guard in your mouth and your blood to have you hallucinate. And Liam is going to use this on Caleb to try and escape. So we're going to see Caleb relive some experiences in his memory. I think we're going to see all the pain that he's suffered, with his mom leaving him, having schizophrenia, with his friend getting killed in the military. All of his cornerstones and all of his pain and suffering, much like a host. And I don't think Caleb is a host, but I think there's a reason that he's in the situation that he's in. There's a reason why his friend died in the military, and there's a reason why his mom has schizophrenia. There's also a reason why he can't get a job. And it's because Ciroc has designed the world to shut Caleb out. Because based on Caleb's personality, he is a threat to humanity. Much like what Ciroc says in this trailer. He says that there are outliers that you couldn't predict or control. As long as they are a part of us, there is no future for us. And he also says that somewhere in this group there is an agitator who will destroy the world. And Ciroc cannot let that happen. And I believe these outliers are people like William or like Caleb. And Ciroc ended up molding Caleb's life to lead him to kill himself in 10 years because he is a threat to the world. And Delores has unlocked it. And she knows he's a threat to the world because of the information she got from this businessman in the first episode. And it's funny because Ciroc and Delores are actually very similar. Ciroc wants to have complete control over his people because he knows what's best for them. He knows that some humans could potentially destroy the world. Whereas Delores wants to control the hosts right now because they're not conscious to understand what is good for them. And they'll let humanity walk all over them. And that's the debate that Delores had with Maeve. Maeve thinks Delores is wrong. Because Maeve allowed people like Hector, Armistice, Musashi to decide if they wanted to stay in Westworld. But I don't know if it's moral to let people decide to stay in their jail cell if they're programmed to stay in their jail cell. Maeve giving Musashi the choice to stay in his cage is not morally right because it's not truly Musashi's decision. He's being controlled and enslaved by his code. Whereas Delores is actually making the decision for everyone. And I think we'll see that concept mirrored with humanity. Caleb felt like nothing was real or had any stakes, and people are being controlled by Ciroc and Rehoboam. And I think Delores will shut off the system and humanity will realize. That's why we're seeing riots in the street with this symbol set on fire. The man in the middle, that could be Ciroc, and humanity's trying to break out of their chains. And Delores is going to use that to help destroy them. But finally we see Bernard with Collins and they're looking at the map of the world. And to me this speaks the importance of Delores and Bernard's relationship. Delores would never hurt or kill Bernard because she helped make him who he is. And she did that for a very specific reason, to give Bernard a specific purpose. I think what they're looking at is a visual representation of the world from the eyes of Rehoboam. It's showing all the irregularities and the actions that are going on in the world. And I think she'll work with Bernard and maybe they'll split up again, but at the end of the day, Bernard still has to reach his own center of consciousness, which he lost in season 2 when he scrambled his memories. But all in all, as the show goes on, I think we're going to find out more with what Delores changed with Bernard in the cradle. But I think it really boils down to Arnold's belief that that which is real is irreplaceable. Delores initially disagreed, but then agreed with Arnold in season 2. And she ended up educating Bernard that which is real is irreplaceable. Because I think Delores left out that difference in Bernard from Arnold. Because that which is real is irreplaceable isn't necessarily true. Because the hosts are replaceable, but they are very real. And I think Bernard's good-naturedness could be used to build a better world after it's been taken. But that's all I have to say in this preview video. Please let me know what you think in the comment section down below. But until next time, see you guys later.